It's time for another army review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is an army review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings for the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and we've come now to Barad-Dûr. So this is a new army, not seen before in the lands of Middle-earth. Well, we've seen iterations of it in the Mordor list originally. But now they've separated into two distinct armies so that you can play more themed forces. And that's very fun in my opinion. So, army composition. This army may include the Dark Lord Sauron, the Witch-King of Angmar, the Ringwraiths, Shelob, Orc Captains, Orc Shamans, Orc Taskmasters, Orc Drummers, Black Númenórean Marshals, Mordor Troll Chieftains, Orc Warriors, Orc Trackers, Warg Riders, Black Númenóreans, Morgul Knights, Mordor Trolls, Mordor Siege Bows and Mordor War Catapults. So nearly the whole shebang, but missing here is of course the named Ringwraiths, which can't be included in a Barad-Dûr force. This army has convenient allies with the Desolator of the North only, and is impossible allies with everyone else, and this is because of course Smaug was alive and everyone else was not born yet. Seems very simple in my opinion. The army bonus of this army is the power of the ring cannot be undone. Sauron's warband size is increased to 24, so currently he's only one of two models that can lead 24 warriors. No, one of three models, sorry, because of, well, we think, yeah, because the army bonus for the Goblin Town seems to be +6 models in each warband. Of course, you have Barad-Dûr, and then you have Azog when he's on the when he takes the tower. So yeah. Additionally, a force that consists solely of models from the Barad-Dûr army list will never be considered broken if Sauron has 3 or more wounds remaining. Should Sauron have two or fewer wounds remaining, the army will break as normal. Should Sauron be slain, the army will immediately count as being broken. So a very cool and fun rule, and powerful one as well, because as soon as orcs break, stuff will happen. With low courage, but now you can actually have Sauron as a big wedge in the middle, and the army will evolve around him basically. I think this is really cool and really powerful as well if you play this right. So of course we go to the heroes first, and Sauron, the main hero of them all, is the one we're going to start with. So Sauron has gone up by the cost of 5 more goblins with an equipment. He's a spirit, Mordor. He's now a monster, infantry hero, and hero of legend. This profile now includes the One Ring. So if you see it like this, you have saved 10 more goblins with equipment of points on him. So he's actually gone down because everyone takes the One Ring, and as such. And he's perfect for Chaos and Arda as well. His stats are Move 6, Fight 9, 4+ Shoot, Strength 8, Defense 10, 4 attacks, so he's gone up by 1 attack, 5 wounds, 7 courage, 3 might, 6 will, with a nice little asterisk next to it, and 0 fate with 2 asterisks next to it. He wears heavy armor, carries a mace and the One Ring. So the One Ring is a passive abilities. Sauron doesn't follow the normal rules for the One Ring. Instead, when he wields the One Ring, whenever Sauron loses his last wound or would be removed as a casualty, roll a d6. On a roll of a 2+, the power of the ring sustains him, and he has a single wound restored. During the fight phase, Sauron will make this roll for each wound suffers that would cause him to be removed as a casualty. Sauron may use might to influence this roll. I firmly believe that the wording here is a bit wrong. During the fight phase, that should be whatever phase, because of course he can be charged by models with throwing axes, or throwing spears, or throwing daggers, or throwing something, and he of course can be shot to death as well. So I do think that this should be all phases. Although, no, because then you roll... Alright, so in shooting you roll 1 by 1. Well, it's rules as written, but normally in tournament play you roll several dice at once. But yeah, it seems to be fine now, in my opinion. Heroic actions, he can take Heroic Channeling, Strike, Strength and Challenge. Challenge on him. He must then target other heroes of legend, but that is very, very good. He has Ancient Evil, Resistant to Magic and Terror. So Resistant to Magic is new for him. He didn't have that before. He also has a few new rules, which is the Dark Lord. If Sauron is in your force, he must be your leader. Should be your leader anyway, because he's a hero of legend, and I don't think there are other heroes of legend in the Barad-Dûr list. Of course, they can be allied with other stuff, albeit impossible allies. Next up is the Lord of the Ring. Sauron can spend a single point of will each turn without reducing his own store. That's an old one. Unstoppable. That's the old combat attack he had, but it's now a brutal power attack. Instead of striking as normal, Sauron can instead make one strength 8 hit on every model involved in the same fight, including spears and pike supports. So this is where he just flings his mace around and hits everything. And then Flames of Evil. Sauron can make a single strike against a single infantry or cavalry model engaged in the fight. If the model is a cavalry model, then only the rider will be affected. If the model is fortunate enough to survive, then if they did not suffer a wound, then the target is also set ablaze. Remember that this also inflicts one strength 9 hit on the poor model that Sauron now has in his grasp. This is him just reaching out and clenching his fist around the throat of a model and just seethes flame into that model. So his spells are Drain Courage, cast on a 2+, Thranfix, cast on a 2+, Compel, cast on a 3+, Instill Fear, which is a new one, cast on a 3+, Chill Soul on a 4+, and Sap Will on a 4+, which is now harder for him to cast. So 1 harder for him to cast that. Sauron is fantastic. I think the changes made to Sauron makes him a bit more viable in games in general. The Witch-King of Angmar. He's a Spirit, Ringwraith, Mordor, Angmar, Infantry Hero and Hero of Valor. His stat line is unchanged with Move 6, Fight 5, 4+ Shoot, Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 Attack, 1 Wound and 6 Courage. He has 0 might, but he can take up to 3 for extra points. He has... Oh, did I say his points? I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Oh well, hope that goes well. I'll bleep it out. So, for Will, he has between 10 and 20, and he can increase that by paying a few points for each. And the same with Fate, he starts with 0 and gets can buy up to 3 more. He carries heavy armor and a sword, can do Heroic Resolve, Channeling, Strike, Strength and Challenge. So interestingly that he can also do the challenge thing. He can take Armored Fell Beast, the Crown of Morgul, which has gone down by a Murray Goblin worth of points. He can also take an Armored Horse, a Horse, the Morgul Blade, and the Two-Handed Flail. Note that the Flail is now two-handed. It effectively has the same rule, but now it's a two-handed flail, specifically in the rule. The rules for Fell Beasts are unchanged, so they're still... Oh, which page is this on? Yeah. I think... There we go. So the Fell Beasts are now move 3, but they have the fly rule. Fight 5, strength 5, fight 5, 5 plus shoot, strength 6, defense 6, 2 attacks, 3 wounds, 3 courage, Wargur's Tooth and Claw. They got fly, monstrous charge and terror, and feral. If a Ringwraith riding a Fell Beast is slain or dismounts, the creature automatically fails its courage test and flees the battlefield. An armored Fell Beast have a defense value of 7 rather than 6. Gone is the Horned Fell Beast. That is completely gone from the rules. And yeah. So yeah, I think that is good. I don't think anyone took the Horned Fell Beast anyway. The Crown of Morgul. If the Witch King has the Crown of Morgul, his attack value is increased to 3. Additionally, while wearing the Crown of Morgul, the Witch King can choose to reroll 1 die when making a casting or resist test. So that's a new facet of the rule. The Morgul Blade is effectively unchanged. Once per game, this model controlling player may declare that they are using their Morgul Blade during the fight phase before rolling to wound. If a model is using a Morgul Blade, they must direct all of their strikes against a single target. An enemy that suffers a wound from the Morgul Blade is automatically slain, regardless of the number of wounds on their profile. Heroes that may use Fate to avoid these wounds, but even a single wound is not saved, they are slain. If the model is using the Morgul Blade is mounted, then they must use the rider's attack and strength if using the Morgul Blade. So I think the wording is a bit clarified in here, but essentially it's what it's always been. They got Harbinger of Evil, Terror, Will of Evil, and as I said, they can buy extra Might, Will and Fate. And for magical powers, he has the same contingent as always, with an addition and a change. So still Drain Courage on the 2+, Transfix on 3+, Compel on a 4+, Instill Fear is now a new one on a 4+. Your Staff is Broken on a 4+, Black Dart on a 5+, and Sap Will has now become 2 harder to cast, now on a 5+. So going on to the Ringwraiths, unchanged in points, managed to save myself there. Still stat line of move 6, fight 5, 4+ shoot, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wounds, 6 courage, can buy, starts with 0 might, can buy extra 2, starts with 7 will, can buy extra 7, and starts off with 0 fate and can buy 2 extras. They got heavy armor and sword, can do heroic march and channeling, has options for armored fell beasts and horses. And they got Harbinger of Evil, Terror and Will of Evil. So Will of Evil, of course, that they lose a point of will every turn that they're engaged in combat. So of course they can buy extra Might, Will and Fate, and they now included the additional rule of 1 of 9. There can only be a maximum of 9 Ringwraiths models of any combination, including Ringwraiths, Nazgul of Dol Guldur, and any other named Ringwraiths in your force. Because they now have the keyword Ringwraith. I forgot the keywords for this. They are Spirit, Ringwraith, Mordor, Infantry Hero, and Hero Fortitude. So, additionally, they have spells, Drain Courage on 2+, Transfix on a 3+, Compel on a 4+, Black Dart on a 5+, Instill Fear, which is a new one, on a 5+, and then Sap Will has become harder to cast on a 5+ now. Shelob is essentially unchanged, still the same amount of points. She's Spider, Mordor, Monster, Infantry Hero, and Independent Hero, but she can't join warbands due to a Lone Hunter rule. She's move 10, fight 7, 6 plus shoot, strength 7, defense 7, 1 attack, 6 wounds, 4 courage, 0 might, 6 will, and 0 fate. She carries large venomous fangs, or rather has them. She has the monstrous charge rule, survival instinct, which is that she has to take a courage test each time she's wounded, or else flee the battlefield. Swift movement, which was the old spider movement, that she can cross every surface. Terror and venom. Venom is a bit tricky to find in the special rule because it's conjoined with the Bane of Kings rule, so it's not listed in their alphabetical order. It's more included on the B side for Bane of Kings. But she has received a new brutal power attack. Caught in a web. Instead of striking as normal, Shelob can instead opt to direct a single strike at one model involved in the fight. This model may not be a monster. The chosen model suffers a strength 7 hit. If the model is wounded, then the wound is not prevented by fate. The model is treated as being under effect of the paralyzed magical spell, which is pretty awesome. So she has a new tool at her disposal. The Orc captains are unchanged. They're the same amount of points. They are Orc, Mordor, Infantry Hero, and Hero Fortitude. They are move 6, fight 4, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. Their armor is, they have armor and either sword or pick, because that's the weapons that the models come with. Heroic actions are Heroic March in addition to the normal 3, of course, and they can still take wargs, bows and shields for the same amount of points that they did before. When it comes to Orc Shamans, they are of course not changed that much either. They are Orc, Mordor, Infantry Hero and Minor Hero, so interestingly they can lead only 6. Same stat line, so move 6, fight 3, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. They have heavy armor, dagger and spear, and they have access to the heroic channeling ability in addition to the normal 3. They can still take wargs for 10 points, and they have now Fury brackets Mordor Orc, so it will only now work on Mordor Orcs. And remember that they have to have both keywords, which is cast on a 3+, and Transfix, which is cast on a 5+. So no real change there, except for the magical power Fury, which now works a bit differently. Safe to note as well that Fury on normal cast doesn't give out saves, it only gives out auto-pass courage, and then on the channeled version it now gives out saves on a 6+ only. The Mordor Orc, well, the Orc Taskmaster has gone down by 2 Mordor Goblins worth of points. He's Orc Mordor Infantry Hero, Hero Fortitude, has got move 6, fight 4, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 1 might, 1 will, 1 fate, so he's lost a point of might. Carries armor, mace and whip, has Heroic March as a heroic action, and the special whip of the master has been changed. Each time a friendly hero model within 6 inches of the Taskmaster from the same armor list, including the Taskmaster itself, attempts a heroic move, a heroic march or heroic shoot, roll a d6 on a 4+, they may call the declared heroic action without expending might. So this is a wonderful change to the Taskmaster, because I saw so many Taskmasters just being near a channeling hero or a combat calling hero, a strike calling hero, just giving out 3 points of might. Now it's changed to only apply to things that the Taskmaster can whip the other models that are affected by this into action, which is absolutely fantastic from a theme point of view. The Orc Drummer is gone down by 2 goblins worth of points. Is Orc Mordor Infantry Hero, an independent hero, so this one can join other warbands but cannot form one of its own. It's got move 6, fight 4, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 5, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage, 0 might, 0 will and 1 fate. It has armor, dagger and war drum, Mordor Orc. So it's lost its advanced special rule, but now it's changed to war drum, which is a generic rule that applies to several models, and only the brackets on the rule says which models are affected. So the war drum has been changed a bit, so it now essentially functions as a heroic march. The drum does not have to move first, so the drum adds 3 movement to infantry and 5 models to cavalry and models with fly special rule. So it is a bit better, and it's also essentially the same but generic over the table. It applies to every single model within 12 inches. The Black Númenórean Marshal is up next. He's gone up by a goblin worth of points. He's man, Mordor, infantry, hero and hero fortitude. Stat line is unchanged with move 6, fight 5, 4 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 7, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 5 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. And you might say to yourself, defense 7, that's because the shield is now included in the profile, and that's possibly why it's gone up by a goblin worth of points. So it has heavy armor, sword and shield, and has access to heroic march, as a captain has. It's got access to armored horse, lance and 2-handed weapon, which now replaces the shield. Which is of course also why it's included in the points cost. Although if you only wanted the Black Númenórean Marshal with a 2-handed weapon, this now costs an extra more a goblin from the previous one. So yeah. When it comes to the Mordor Troll Chieftain, it's unchanged in points and unchanged in the stat line. It is Troll, Mordor, Monster, Infantry, Hero and Hero Fortitude. It's got move 6, fight 7, 5 plus shoot, strength 7, defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 4 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. It has heavy armor and sword, access to heroic strike and heroic strength, and terror, throw stones, range 12, strength 8. So it's essentially unchanged with the exception of the heroic actions it can take and what kind of hero it is. So yeah, that's the Mordor Troll Chieftain. When it comes to the Warriors of Barad-Dûr, the Orc Warriors are essentially unchanged. They haven't changed at all. They are Orc, Mordor, Infantry and Warrior, unchanged in points, unchanged in stat lines. They're still move 6, fight 3, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound and 2 in courage. They carry armor and has either a sword or a pick. Now this is a bit strange to me because there are Mordor Orc models that has been released which has other weapons, essentially hammers and maces, and I think it is natural that GW applies this rule to current models, but there are loads of other models that has effects into them that applies, well, that has Warger options and other options that applies to models they're currently not producing. So this applies to the old Mordor Orcs that in metal, which were released in 2001, and I find it a bit of a shame that they can't have hammers for free. You can still pay point for it, but it's, yeah, I just think it's a bit of a shame. They can still take banners, orc bows, shields, spears and 2-handed weapons, unchanged in points from previously, so the warriors there are essentially unchanged. When it comes to the Mordor Orc trackers, they are goblin worth of points. They are move 6, fight 3, 4 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 3, 1 attack, 1 wound, 2 courage, carries daggers and orc bows and has the option for a warg, but the warg has become a point more expensive than previously. Warg riders up next have gone down by a point and are Orc, Mordor, Cavalry and Warrior. Their move 6, Fight 3, 5 plus shoot, Strength 3, Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, and 2 encourage. They have armor, sword, and a warg. They still have the option for a banner, orc bows, shields, and the throwing spears have become a point cheaper. Black Númenóreans are next. They are unchanged, still the same amount of points. They are man, Mordor, infantry, and warrior. Move 6, fight 4, 4 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, 4 courage. Has heavy armor, sword, and shield. They can take a warhorn or a banner. Note that the warhorn points change has happened in these as well, so it's the same line as with the Hobbit and as with everything else in this book. And they still have the terror special rule. To my I played so many games against Black Númenóreans and I hate their terror special rule. But it's what makes them good, I think. Morgul Knights up next. So they have gone down by a couple of points. They are man, Mordor, cavalry, and warrior. Same stat line as the Black Númenórean warriors, which is essentially what you should use as dismounts, in my opinion. They have heavy armor, sword, lance, shield, and armored horse. For that amount of points, that's good, I think. They can take warhorns and banner, same as with the Black Númenóreans, and same as before that the warhorn has been changed up in points. And they have access to the terror special rule. So I do think now that the Morgul Knights are a bit more competitive. Heavy cavalry charges are, of course, always tough, but I did, even with the terror special rule, I did think that they were pointed to overpriced. But that's been fixed now, so that's all good. Mordor Trolls are a number of points, and they've unchanged in the points value. They're still Troll, Mordor, Monster, Infantry, and Warrior. Move 6, Fight 7, 5 plus shoot, Strength 7, Defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and now 4 encourage. So I might think that this is a typo. And I'll come to that when I come to the Mordor War Catapult. Either this is a typo or the other one isn't. But the reason I think that the Mordor Troll typo is a typo is that the troll that's included in the Mordor War Catapult has only 3 in courage, and as a chieftain it only has 4 courage as well, so it's the same as the Mordor Troll. So either that, or they forgot that the Mordor Troll chieftain should have had 5 courage, and that the siege troll should have had courage 4. So I think this is a typo and the other 2 aren't. But yeah, give me your comments on that in the comment section below if you have thoughts on that. Mordor Trolls have now access to hand and a half swords, hand and a half clubs, or hand and a half hammers, which is a change because previously they didn't have 2-handed weapons. So they can use this now either one-handed or 2-handed. They can have a Mordor War Drum, which now cost plus 2 goblins worth of points, so they're not as cheap anymore. They have access to Terror, Throw Stones, range 12, strength 8 still. Mordor Siege Bows, unchanged in points, but as one of, I think it's Chris Teach, yeah, who contacted me and said that I told you that the Siege Veterans were independent heroes and could be included in other warbands. This is not true. I made a mistake that Siege Veterans form their own warbands, as explicitly I can't say that word, specifically told in the Siege section of the main rulebook. So my mistake, and sorry if I misled you on that. Still a Mordor Siege Bow with a strength of 9, defense of 10 and 3 wounds, sorry. It's a small siege bow, it's crewed by 3 orc warriors, so it's actually gone up by an orc warrior, and one of them is a siege veteran automatically. The crew members have orc, Mordor, infantry and warrior keywords, with the exception of the siege veterans, which has a might point, so he's a hero, I believe, unless I'm mistaken again. Tell me in the comments. They are move 6, Fight 3, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 2 courage, so the normal orc warrior profile. They can now upgrade to a orc engineer captain, which is better, but that adds an orc engineer captain, I believe. Flaming ammunition is still an option for the same amount of points, and they can purchase additional crew for a number of points each. So the piercing shot is not really changed, albeit that it's now 1d6 instead of 2d6 directly away from the siege engine. Some banana flying here, sorry. So yeah, if a shot from a Mordor siege bow hits a battlefield target, then they will suffer 1 strength 9 hit. Additionally, if the target has strength 5 or lower, they will be knocked prone and flung d6 inches directly away from the siege bow. Any model that the target passes over will also be knocked prone and suffers 1 strength 6 hit. If the target comes into contact with a piece of impassable terrain or a model that has strength 6 or higher, it will immediately stop and be knocked prone. Both the target and the obstacle or model, if it has a defense value, will suffer 1 strength 6 hit. And it's accurate, a Mordor siege bow will only scatter 3 inches rather than 6, so that's no change. So we come lastly to the Mordor War Catapult, which has gone up by a staggering 14 goblins worth of points. But now the troll is included, so you're actually paying 6 goblins less for the pair. The Mordor War Catapult has a strength of 10, a defense of 10 and 4 wounds. A Mordor War Catapult is a large siege engine. It's crewed by 3 orc warriors with armor and sword and a Mordor troll, with no additional war gear. One of the orcs is automatically the siege veteran. All the orc members have the orc, Mordor infantry and warrior keywords. The Mordor troll has the troll, Mordor monster infantry and warrior keywords. The stat lines for the orcs are the same as normal orcs, and the stat line for the troll is the same as the stat line of a normal troll, with the exception of 1 lower courage, which I explained earlier. It could of course be that the troll is whipped into submission, just carrying stones back and forth. So you could explain it like that, but I think it's a typo. The options for this one is an orc engineer captain, flaming ammunition, severed heads and additional crew for numbers of points each. Not really changed from before. It has the indirect fire rule, so catapults always fire using the rules for volley fire with a range of 12 to 96. Area of effect: if a catapult scores a hit against a battlefield target, all models within 2 inches of the target suffers 1 strength 5 hit. This additional hit does not kill the target outright. So the strength of the area of effect has been lowered from strength 6 to strength 5. It has now an additional rule, which is wall breaker. When a catapult rolls to wound against a siege target, the controlling player may roll 2 dice and pick the highest. This used to be the Siege Veteran upgrade special rule, but now it's included in the points. And lastly, the Troll, see page 119, the opposite page of the Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game Rules Manual. Are the trolls there? Oh well. So that's... I'm not going to look that up, but I do think maybe trolls are listed in the main rules manual. Yeah, possibly. Alright, so that is my thoughts and summary of the Barad-Dûr army list for the Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game. I think this is a very cool army to play. A historical list from the older eras where Sauron still walked Middle-earth and did loads of shenanigans against all the Free Peoples. I do like that it's not including any named profiles with the exception of the Ringwraiths and Shelob, which all were alive at this point, and that they don't have access to everything. They don't, for instance, have access to the Black God of Barad-Dûr, which of course is because the Uruk-hai were not in existence at this point. They don't have access to the Mordor Uruk-hai for the same reason, and yeah, they don't have access to a lot of things So Morannons are not in there, Blackguards, Mordor Uruk-hai, Great Beasts of Gorgoroth, Morgul Stalkers, Spectres. So loads of things are not possible for them to take, but I do like that they are a singular army now, with their own army bonus and their own kind of thing. So thank you guys for watching this video here on the STF Wargaming Studio channel. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider supporting STF on Patreon using the link in the description below, as it is a fantastic way for you to support our efforts here at the studio, and it gives us the monetary means to expand, improve and give you more cool videos each and every day of the week. So if that's at all interesting for you, click the link in the description below and you'll be taken to our Patreon page where you can find out more information about perks and other cool stuff. But more importantly, support your hobby.